San Diego 6 News in the morning. Your station for balanced news.
Well, did you know that 120,000 people in San Diego County suffer from headaches every single day? In fact, across America, there are 45 million who suffer from chronic headaches. And Dr. Jack Shim is a neurologist from Scripps Encinitas, nice enough to join us here in the studio this morning. And thank you so much for being here. This is actually Headache Awareness Week. That I guess is the reason why you're here. But as soon as we brought up this topic yesterday, everyone started talking about headaches, different kinds, where it hits. And I didn't realize there are so many different kinds of headaches out there.
Well, it's astonishing how many people suffer from headache and the disruptive quality of headache. I think people often are wondering, why do I have headache here? You know, is a headache here different than a headache here? What distinguishes a regular headache from a migraine headache?
Yeah, you know, and our producer from earlier this morning was talking about how she has them behind her eyes sometimes. And what does that mean? Is it really hard to tell? I mean, what triggers these and what is a headache exactly?
Well, headache in a broad sense is pain in the head. But I have people who tell me, I've got a pain right here, but it's not a headache. And they describe it in some way as, well, it's more on the surface rather than deep inside.
Almost feels like a bruise sometimes.
And that's actually a type of headache. There's a type of headache that represents a localized pain about the size of a coin called nummular headache.
My goodness. Now, let's talk about some of the different kinds of headaches that are out there, because there's a slew of them, which could take up all of our time, I guess. But I was looking on this list: primary, tension, migraine, cluster, and then I don't even know how to say the last one, cranial neuralgia.
Cranial neuralgia.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those headaches that you have. Talk about tension headache.
Well, tension headaches is the regular headache. Most people have an occasional headache, and it might happen if you're tired or dehydrated or missed a meal or stressed out or something like that. Usually whole head, squeezing, pressure. By definition, it's a mild to at most moderate headache. So if someone has tension headaches, that rarely brings them to see a doctor because they're not disruptive, they're not disabling.
And then migraine headaches, of course, a lot of people suffer from those, and that can be really serious.
Migraines are incredibly disabling. There is data from the World Health Organization that says that a day with migraine is equivalent to a day of being quadriplegic in terms of how disabled and down for the count you are.
And I've heard from people that they can actually feel it coming. They kind of sense it and know that they're going to have to sort of just lay down or kind of brace themselves?
Absolutely. There are about 20% of people who have migraines get neurologic symptoms like flashing zigzag lines or something like that. But even a majority of the other people who don't have that kind of warning can tell in some way. They feel irritable, increased energy, swelling and the rings don't fit, a variety of different symptoms that can come on maybe a half a day before the migraine itself.
And now, before we get into how to relieve those symptoms, one more headache I wanted to ask you about is the cold headache. You know, when you drink a Slurpee really fast and all of a sudden you just get this incredibly intense pain in your head. What is that?
Well, we think that that's a triggering of pain pathways. The majority of headache occurs within what's called the trigeminal nerve territory, and that represents sensation for the whole head. We're not really clear why ice cream headaches occur. It's thought that when you drink something cold, that blood vessel constriction in some way provokes the nerve pathways to be, ow, that really hurts.
Okay, now before we run out of time, we wanted to talk about some of the ways to relieve headaches, and what are the best ways. I was reading that you have to take them seriously. You know, think about what's happening in your head.
Well, you know, most disruptive headaches are migraines and are not inherently dangerous. So the first thing we need to think about, patients and physicians, are there symptoms that would warn that someone has a dangerous headache, you know, a headache of a brain tumor or something like that. And those tend to actually, in terms of the pain, not to be so bad. But they may have other symptoms like paralysis, numbness, confusion, blackouts, or something like that.
And then you know you have to go to a doctor and get it checked out.
Exactly. And for that matter, frequent headaches. If someone's taking Tylenol every day, that's not normal. And they need to evaluate it or have their physician evaluate why they're having so many headaches. In fact, taking pain medicines too often can provoke headaches. It's called rebound headache.
Okay. Well, you know, we are out of time, and I could have talked to you for half an hour. I knew it. This is just such a broad topic, and everybody is interested in it because everyone gets headaches once in a while. So, hey, thank you so much for coming in, and you'll have to come back.
Thank you so much.
All right. Nice seeing you. And if you want more information on this segment and a link to the Headache Center, is that what it's called? The Headache
The Headache Center of Southern California.
Okay, Headache Center of Southern California. Go to our website at san diego6.com and click on Hot Topics.